Hi, I'm Pete Fabiano.
And I am Matt Walker.
Sure about that, Matt?
More or less. I mean, there's certain things I'm not too confident in, but at least my own name, I think I know it. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well, I guess that's one way to start the podcast.
Fair enough.
Just want to say thank you again for listening. And as always, thanks so much for the feedback that we've been getting, which is great, actually. This time I want to take a moment and actually read some of the feedback that we've seen on iTunes and some of the other locations.
Yeah, let's
where
hear
you
it.
get your podcast.
Nice.
Why don't you read it, Matt?
Oh, all right. How about let's read it. Should I say who it's from?
Sure.
All right. So first from Dan Gasparini, your buddy and mine.
Sure.
Titled Awesome Podcast. Loving the podcast, and it's something I've wanted for a long time. Behind the scenes of anything I love is something I want more of. I've been appreciating Capcom doing making-ofs for their titles, their GDC presentations on games they're making, and now this podcast. Anything that lets fans peer in is something I can appreciate. In terms of what could be cool going forward, I loved the episode that talked about RE2. Talking to people who work on these games is something I want more on, but more than that, hearing their approach with these games in the least spoilerific way possible would be great. Yeah, I think so. I think that's a great idea, Pete. I think we should do that.
It's also pretty cool that today we actually have two special guests.
We do.
From what, Matt?
Devil May Cry 5.
That's right.
Yeah.
Your title in mind.
We'll get to that in a second, though.
I guess we'll get to that in a moment. But before we start, as always, please continue to listen. Please tell your friends and subscribe. It's going to be really important, and it'll justify us to keep going with this podcast, right, man?
Yep, you got it, man. Exactly. It's always nice to see that there's a nice demand, that people are enjoying what they're hearing, and that there's a lot of people doing it, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people that you could choose to listen to, but thanks for spending the time with us instead.
That's right.
And without further ado, let's go ahead and start. So, guys, thanks for coming. And why don't we just start by having you guys introduce yourselves, since the audience needs to know who you are.
Hi. I'm Alex. I'm from Germany.
Hi, Alex.
I work at Capcom.
Wait, is this like a
That's like
Alcoholics
an AA meeting,
Anonymous?
Hi, Alex.
Hi, Alex.
And I work at Capcom.
Yeah. What else do you want to hear? I don't know. I'm better at answering.
You can just start it off
questions.
slow.
How do you say your last name?
Slow.
What's his last name? What's your last name?
Which language would you like to hear?
I would like to
Dude,
hear
I want
it in
it- I
a
want
language
the
that we can
original.
understand.
The original
is-
German, baby.
My name in German is Alexander de Raude.
Oh, yeah, I knew your last name was German.
I would just say Draden.
Raude. Yeah, in English it's something like that.
Yeah.
And,
That's sexy, man.
Japanese. In Japanese it works out kind of.
What is it? What's in Japanese?
Doraude. They
Okay.
I like the
They put
German
an
better.
O in the middle, but in the beginning, but
I like
It's
the-
close.
pretty
I like
It's
it.
getting
close to home, so it's nice.
Right on.
And our other guest?
Oh, yep. I'm Wilson. Character.
No
is-
last name, just Wilson.
Oh, Wilson Ong. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I'm from Singapore.
But Wilson wasn't your birth name, was it?
Yeah, wasn't my birth.
What's your birth name?
My birth name is Bun Xiong.
Cool.
Bun Xiong.
That's cool. That's pretty cool.
It's funny though. Like Singaporeans have actually. I'm not sure. Like, does this apply to all? But the Chinese have like a few names actually. It's like, our own direct language.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the Chinese language. So we have like a couple of names that forms a bit different.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
Is the pronunciation
Okay.
slightly different?
Yeah, slightly different. So the other name is called like Wen Xiong.
Huh. That's the
Yeah.
Chinese one.
This is Chinese one.
Okay, interesting.
The Wen Xiong one is the direct.
It's Singaporean.
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's really cool, man.
No, that's like very funny. Like, people's like suspicious. Like, why do we have so many names? It's like,
Nah, that's not a suspicious thing. I mean, if you want suspicious, just look at Mike, man. He's as suspicious as they get. He's all Russian and stuff. Has nothing to do with why he's suspicious. He's just a suspicious
And
guy
he's
in
not
general.
even here right now, so let's go back to...
But so why do we have these guys? It's because they are artists on the best game at Capcom, if not the world. Devil May Cry 5. 5, baby. We actually have other artists
The
on
levels
that
are
too.
spiking right now.
Yeah, I'm so excited I coughed. Yeah, man. These guys worked as artists on,
So, but different
DMC5.
disciplines, right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Slightly,
hear their stories.
slightly. if you go by department, we're in the same
Right.
exact same department.
So were you guys both under Nagaki-san, Kinoshita-san? Like who you guys under? I would assume you were under Kinoshita-san.
both.
Both of them. Okay.
In my case, both. Yeah.
I'm more like under Nagi-san.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Nagaki-san is like the character lead, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, the character
He
lead.
handles like monsters and characters.
Yep. And then Kinoshita-san's the art lead. He's the art director.
Right.
He always calls himself an AD.
Art director.
Art director, yep. And they're both really cool
Kinoshita-san's
guys.
Well, both of them, but Kinoshita-san has been here for 20-something years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a super
Over
veteran.
20.
He's a
Yeah.
great guy too.
I beat Devil May Cry 5 last night. Or sorry, Devil
5? Really? You just beat it?
Beat Devil May Cry 2. I beat Devil May Cry 2 last night. I was looking at the credits and I was talking to Kinoshita-san. I'm like, oh yeah, this person was in the credits and this person was in the credits. So cool. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, you didn't work on that, did you? He was like, oh yeah, I worked on that. I'm like, what? I didn't see your name. He was like, that was back when we were using pseudonyms. So, and I was like, well, what's your pseudonym? I want to know. I was like, I forgot. Come on, man.
So from what I understand, back then it was the reason why they used pseudonyms is because they didn't want people to get poached.
Right.
So they wouldn't put their real name in the game. That's why you have nicknames, right?
Yep.
So you just blew it, man. You should have introduced it with like Tom and Harry or something.
Yeah. Well, we don't use nicknames anymore. But you're by trade a concept artist, right?
By trade, I'm an illustrator.
Oh.
I would say. I always
Okay.
would introduce myself as an illustrator. But here in Capcom, I do concept design.
So could you make the distinction for the audience?
Illustration is... oh my god.
I know I asked a difficult question.
Yeah. I mean, it's like... I would... Nobody judge me on that, right? Like, funny pictures. If you do children's books or you want to illustrate, that's what the verb comes from.
Right.
A cover for a book. That's, I guess, magazine illustrations. That's the stuff I used to do. And if you do concept design for a company like Capcom, you got to focus with the 3D aspect in mind. So you're going to create something 2D, but you know it has to be turned into a 3D asset later on. And it's usually... When in the case of Devil May Cry, almost everything I've done has like some real world application. So it had to be somewhat
It's
realistic,
referencing something
referencing stuff.
yeah.
So it had to be realistic in that sense, right?
Yep. That makes sense. And then how about you? Were you always 2D, 3D?
I'm more into like 3D stuff. 2D is like I do some 2Ds when I was more in my past companies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did some.
Okay. Interesting. Well, how about we get into
Get into their
life
stories,
the life stories,
The life stories.
the origin stories.
That's
if you
right.
will.
We're always about hearing people's backgrounds. So that's where you are today, and we can talk a little bit more about that as we go forward. But
Right.
All right.
Alex, why don't we start with you, just telling us a little bit about? Well, first of all, how did you even become an artist? What drove you? What should I use the phrase that maybe I should make famous against it? What's your deal?
What's your
Oh,
deal?
yeah. I like that phrase. I like it.
Where were you born?
Eastern Germany,
Eastern Germany.
in a state called Thuringia.
Wow, so you
Thüringen
have
in
a
German.
definite story.
A definite story.
Yeah.
You think so? No, I
Yeah.
don't. Not really.
No?
In the sense that everything just comes together. That's how I would describe it. I mean, you kind of lay out the path of, I'd like to do that someday. And then it takes a while, and 10 years down the line, you're like, oh shit, I'm actually doing it.
Nice.
Like, that's kind of how
right.
the whole thing as an artist. I always liked drawing. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I was drawing as a kid, and the important point is that I guess everybody's parents always they're like, they have this idea of what you have to do as a kid, right? Like, our son is gonna do this or that, and my parents tried to kind of, not forcibly, but they were like, oh, Alex, he has a deal with like this kind of, and he's a bit funny, so why don't you work in a hotel as a caterer kind of guy? And then later on, like, I don't know why they had this idea, but they really tried to push me into some hotel working job. It's kind of interesting. I was completely like ignoring it and shut that off with, I don't care about money, I want to draw.
Cool.
I want to draw images. I want to draw pictures. And that's when they kind of let me just do that.
Interesting.
But you lived in a period, or I don't know how much you remember, I'm not sure how old you are, but you had the wall. And then
We had the wall.
Yes.
Wow.
And
Is that what it was called? It's like the beach, the beach in New
like the
Jersey.
beach,
It's like
that's
the
right.
wall.
Yes,
What?
that's what they called it, Matt, the wall.
All right.
So I
No,
mean,
it's
but
more like Game of Thrones. You had the wall.
Ooh, is that a thing?
it is.
No.
But no, going back to that though, I mean that's a piece of history. So
Yeah.
how did that affect you growing up?
I was a child, so
Right.
what I often say, because people expect some really amazing stories of how was it behind the wall,
Right. I mean, I don't think
How
it was.
was that?
Yeah.
Oh,
and it's like, well,
what's your deal?
What's your deal behind the wall? And I'd say as a child, you don't know anything but your surroundings.
Right,
So
exactly.
in my personal case, it's like, to a certain extent, it's true. We didn't have bananas. That's something I would often say about Eastern Germany. But if you, as a kid, you don't have a concept
Does
of
it
what
matter?
is
Right.
a many bananas or no bananas. So
Right.
if you get bananas every half a year, well, that's a banana then.
Right.
Like in that time space, you
Right.
don't just, why don't I get a banana every day?
Right.
You don't even know that's a thing. So,
Well, again, why does it matter?
in
right?
that regard, I can't say much because I was there until the second grade,
Right.
and then the wall came down. Now you can all do calculations how old I am. But
Yeah.
so up to second grade, I was there, and then we, like, the whole thing changed.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you just, since as far as you can remember, you're always into art? I mean, drawing?
Pretty much, yeah. Like I have
Wow.
I don't have a thing for music. I was pretty stupid when it comes to sports until a late age. Like, I couldn't freaking catch a ball or anything, but I always liked drawing.
Cool.
It's pretty weird.
So how did you course
Interesting.
correct? Because it sounds like your family was trying to push you towards this hotel industry.
Oh, that was
job.
just really this thing of what I vividly remember of like talking to a couple of relatives, and they were always like, you gotta, nowadays, I think I should have fucking listened. Like, they're like, get a job with some money, and you're, as a kid, nah, I want to draw. Drawing is important to me. I don't care about money. And then you become older, and you're like, shit,
I need
some
money.
Like, this money thing is actually important. So, but I stuck to my course of drawing, and well, I graduated from high school in Germany. I graduated, and then I went to art university with a short intermittence. In Germany, you always have to do army service or civil service, they
Right.
call it. And while I was there, I'm just gonna give you the whole rundown
Yeah.
because it's gonna
Yeah,
fast.
please.
I
Man.
had, out of pure chance. I mean, also it's one of these random occurrences. I was at an artist event once, and it was a guy just randomly spurting out Japanese because he was learning it as a hobby. And I remember saying, someday I'm going to speak Japanese. Like, just because I was kind of like envious that he was like using this completely foreign language in a really cool way. And he was handing it. I had no idea what he's saying. He's probably saying the most rudimentary stuff. back then,
Right, right.
I was like, wow, this is amazing. But I was just, this would be so cool to speak Japanese. But I didn't say I'm going to go to Japan. I was just like, I want to speak Japanese someday. And then the years pass, you go to university, and one day to the next, like, I decide with a friend, like, wouldn't it be cool if we do an exchange semester somewhere? Let's go far away. Let's go somewhere. Rules that we both, like, as friends, found was no English, because we could speak that, and somewhere where we haven't been before.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened to be that our professor at that time, he just came back from a trip to Japan.
Okay.
And when he came back after party in Germany, it's all very laid back. You can like, hey, dude, like with first name. And you're like, so who's going to go to Japan next? And he was like, I don't know, you? So that was decided. So bloop, that fell into my lap, so to say. And I went to Japan.
Wow.
I liked it. I went to university here for half a year semester and was like, oh man, I would like to come back someday. Went back home. But then a few years later, when we had the good Lehman Brothers and the banks, the money again, right?
2008.
And
Yeah.
I was working as a freelancer and stuff was kind of rough. I was like, man, if I could take a break from that for a while, like the freelancing is pretty rough in that time, like financial crisis, everything. So I applied for a scholarship in Japan, just randomly, guess I'm just gonna try this, and it worked.
Nice.
And then I came back to Japan, went back to university to bridge this financial crisis, kind of.
Right.
And from then on, it just continued because I was there. So I then joined the master's program for the second time in my life, and just finished that, and then went
Wait,
on
you have
to
two
graduate.
masters?
Yeah, it's if it's art, I don't know if that is actually countable. It's like I got 2 masters, but all
That's
I did
pretty
was
cool.
draw pictures.
Are
I
they
never
both-
really wrote anything.
Are they both in art?
Well, yeah,
Are they different kinds of art, or is
Yes.
it like what are they?
visual communications design with
Okay.
the major in illustration.
Okay.
That one didn't go too well.
Well,
And
was
the
that-
other one
Uh-huh.
is in manga.
Interesting.
Okay, interesting.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. And after that, I think the actual springboard then was, if you graduate in Japan, going to a company and saying, hey, I'm a graduate. You want to like take me or something becomes really, really easy because you're not that outsider anymore. You just go with that normal Japanese route.
Okay.
And I just went to Capcom meeting, brazenly brought my portfolio along, even though that wasn't like supposed to happen, and just showed it to somebody, and he was like, this is kind of nice. This nice guy was Nara-san. He's
Oh,
nice.
nice.
super sweet guy, in my opinion.
Who's
And,
Nara-san?
He
Pete?
is. Narasan he's also a veteran employee. He's an animator. He's worked on a number of titles throughout.
Oh, yes.
And now he's one of the senior managers looking after some animators and some artists.
There you go.
And so he kind of seemed to like it and was like, oh, I'm just going to pass this on. And then I didn't hear anything. And a few weeks later, somebody from the HR department or the recruiting department called me and was like, hey, you want to come to our Shinjin thing? And that's how I got in.
Cool.
So, one thing I just want to take a break and say for a moment is that, so we're in episode 5, and one thing that seems to be consistent throughout all of our interviews is that, number one, everyone who got a job here took a chance, right? They just went after something that they wanted, and they just went for it.
Yeah.
And 2, there's a lot of happenstance. There's a lot of luck, timing, and there's a lot of that out there that, yeah, you can make your own luck, right? You can be at the right place at the right time. You can make sure to go out. And most of the times when we're talking to people, I think you're all somewhat outgoing, right? You're all going out there. You're trying to make something for yourself, and you're just trying to experience life. And that really leads to things. So it's like I just wanted to preface this with a little bit of a moral story here, because I think that seems consistent in everything.
It does seem so. I've listened. I'm a fan.
Thank you. We've got a fan on the podcast, Matt.
All right. That's right, man.
But that is pretty awesome. Like it seems like a very condensed version of your story, but
Yeah, it was quite a leap going from like 5 years old all the way to now. But now you know.
Yeah, it wasn't nearly as long as Ricardo's story.
well, he's Italian. He talks.
Nah, no.
I could say that I'm Italian.
I mean that in a loving way. I love Patrick. He's
Me
a
too.
good guy.
Patrick is a good guy.
Yeah,
No one's gonna get that, man,
well,
until they get to the next segment
Well,
of the
hey.
show.
He's Patrick. He's our buddy Patrick.
Oh, that's nice. That was a good omen, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty face, everything.
So, I guess we'll jump around a bit, but Wilson, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Where were you born, man?
What's your deal?
What's your deal?
My deal, yeah. Yeah. I was born in Singapore, and yeah, how did I come about doing art though? It's like, Singapore starts, media and stuff is pretty late actually. And, but when I was young, I was exposed to like a lot of mangas and stuff. And I think the most impression I have was like Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
The
Z or
real
regular?
one. Yeah, the regular one. The
Vanilla Dragon Ball.
So one Goku's like a little kid with a tail.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Based
like,
on Journey to the West.
and from that on, it's like I think Singapore has a few medias like comic stuff. There's like comics from Hong Kong, like the Kung Fu kind, and there's like English comics and mangas and stuff.
Right.
So I was like not really good at studies, so I read a lot of
Cool.
comics, mangas and stuff. So pretty inspired, but and when going to like further studies for like art stuff, I came across polytechnics, and they were doing like media stuff, 3Ds and stuff. I'm like, wow, 3D, what's 3D, man?
Okay.
It looks really new and like advanced in a way.
Okay.
Maybe I can do something.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So applied for it and got in. But
Okay.
initially, I think I was applying for interior design
Huh.
and media.
Okay.
I got into interior design first, but I was like really like this media thing. And before I think say yes to the interior design, the media design like gave me a call and something. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to go to media design, of course. Yeah. And I dropped the interior design thing.
Interesting. Okay. Huh.
So, did either of you have any interest in video games before you started working at video game companies?
Oh, I
yes.
do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So did you ever think, I want to work at a video game company, or did that just
Yes.
kind of happen?
No.
So that was something you pursued.
Primary target was working in a game company.
Why?
Dream job. I don't know. I think it was just like the most logical conclusion. I mean, for one, of course, I liked video games, so that's interesting. More than movies, for example. I was never attracted to like working in movies or anything. It was video games. But if you want to work in a company, but you want to continue drawing monsters or something, then the choice becomes pretty obvious of where you can work, where you can find that work environment, where somebody's going to be like, "Whoa, that's a nice sword," like, find another job where that's going to happen.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Right. How about you?
Yeah, I play a lot of games.
Cool.
I think the most impression I have is like Sega.
All right. Cool.
16-bit
yeah.
is like holy
Genesis?
crap.
16,
Yeah.
Mega Drive.
Yeah, that was my
Shining
first one as well.
Force, whatever. It's
Cool.
like-
Shining Force, nice.
Yeah, it's like play so many times, man. It's like,
Shining Force. Yeah.
Nice, man.
you know,
Before
it's
that
like-
was Shining in the Darkness, right? Or was one of the after that?
maybe it's the name thing.
There's one of them where it's like, I think you're going through corridors. It's like first person kind of style. And then there's
Ah,
another
yeah.
one.
I played it. Yeah, that's the one I played.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, like, when you just shake it, it's like it's gonna hang. It's gonna freeze. The game is gonna freeze, kind of thing.
Oh,
It happens a lot of times. Like,
Really?
Gotta be careful with those. Yeah, with those
Yeah.
cartridge consoles, man.
you just pull the controller, things happens.
Right.
Yeah.
was it like that? Alright.
So you decided to go into media, and then what happened?
After that, I get to stream like whether I want to go to games, animations, or multimedia websites and stuff. I was like kind of confused between animations and games. I like animation, CGs and stuff, but I was like kind of worried about jobs and stuff too.
In what way? What were you worried about?
It's like CGs and I mean cool characters and movie stuff is pretty. It's not gonna happen in Singapore actually.
Ah, okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I see.
So it's like a matter of like money and stuff. So I chose games, but after I got into games, I realized that this is the right thing that I want to do. So
Cool.
it's pretty lucky in a way too.
So originally, you never thought you would leave Singapore,
Oh yeah, that's.
but you did.
I did.
So how did that happen?
That was like during my after I graduate, and Singaporeans need to serve army
Right.
for 2.5 years.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that was
long.
like pretty long, man. And after that, when I visited my school, polytechnic, and I saw my teacher, and he told me something that, this government is doing like a collaboration with Japan companies, and like having interns and stuff like that. So I check it out, I apply for it, and I managed to get into Tri-Ace for 1 year.
Try Ace, right on.
Yeah. But I'm more interested in doing like characters and modeling stuff.
What were you doing at Trias?
I was like an animator. Yeah, that was something new, but I think I can give it a try. Yeah. Interesting. A different perspective, like
Right.
how things works.
Makes
Right.
sense, yeah.
And after that, I gone back to Singapore, and I joined another company, Japan game companies, and doing DS games.
Okay.
We publish a flying game or something, airplane games, and
Mhm.
shooter
Okay.
stuff. After that, on and off, and I end up in Ubisoft.
Ubisoft in Singapore.
Yeah, Ubisoft Singapore.
Oh, okay.
Been there for like 5 years, 5 year plus, and during the later time, I was like thinking where I want to go next. Have one choice is like going to another Ubisoft branch or somewhere else. So I give a try in like Japan companies and stuff like that, and managed to apply Capcom through like a third party company, and yeah, managed to get in.
Cool.
So you applied from Singapore
Yeah,
to come here.
yeah,
So your goal was to actually get into Capcom.
yeah. It's like, like in the end, like you think about like what game you like the most.
Right,
Yep.
right, exactly.
It's like till now I still like Street Fighter 3 Turn
Yep.
Impact. That was like, the god game that I like,
Yep. That
in
makes
my
sense.
whole game life. It's like, oh, this is the best game. Yeah. So it's like I like Capcom very much. I like their characters. I like their monsters and stuff. Why not give it a try? Instead regretting not doing anything.
So you wanted to work on Street Fighter first? Is that why you joined?
Yeah, that's a hard question. I want to, but it's like it's a legend game. It's like it's made in 2D
Mhm.
stuff like that.
Mhm.
If it's 3D, I'm not sure. Like things are a little different. Like my impression is like I like
The 2D stuff the best, yeah.
stuff the
Yeah.
best. Yeah,
Well, the
makes sense.
animations in Third Strike are amazing, right?
it's
Oh,
amazing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the parry thing.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
What's it
system
like for you to
itself.
work with Ikeno-san? Because Ikeno-san worked on Street Fighter 3.
yeah.
And
His drawing is
he works on
amazing,
Devil May Cry
man.
5.
Yeah.
Yep.
You ever talk to him at all?
Yeah, I do.
Cool.
I like to talk to him.
He's a nice
really,
guy.
He's really nice.
Yeah, he's a
guy.
super nice guy.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that he's still in the building, right?
Yeah, true.
Yep.
He's the legend, man.
Yeah.
Right. That's really cool, man. When you got into Capcom, what did you first work on?
Initially, I was with Kinoshita-san.
Okay.
Yeah, he was working on Street Fighter 5.
Okay.
Oh, right,
I
right,
remember
right.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like, wow,
Yeah, he did a character.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I don't know if we ever talked about that.
I wasn't assigned to the game. I wasn't assigned to Street Fighter 5. But I
Right,
was
you were
like,
just shadowing.
I was like
right?
shadowing there,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Hey, why not you just help out with this thing?" I was like helping out with like Uri's. Is it Urian? Or
Are you talking about the Korean character or are you talking about the
Yeah,
Egyptian character?
no, the Egyptian character.
Okay. Yeah, Urian.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like,
Guy with the tuxedo who rips off into a
yeah,
loincloth.
yeah. I was like fixing a bit of the muscle
Or not tuxedo.
thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah.
that's just about it.
Right on. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was like fun.
Were you working when you were doing that 3D stuff? So were you working mainly in like Maya then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maya was like our basic 3D too.
Okay. Because you do a lot of the different little sculpting bits here and there
Yeah.
on Devil May Cry, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Okay.
So it sounds like at this point you're a generalist because you've done such a kind of wide body of different work.
Yeah, true.
You had animation.
Worked on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. You've done sculpting.
Uh-huh.
3D modeling.
Yeah.
I did that.
Did you?
It's like, I mean, no, I did. I used Wilson's general knowledge to my advantage. Like not like in an abusive manner. But
You
when
stole
I
from
was
him.
stuck somewhere, and I was so Wilson, like this normal model thing, a normal
Yeah.
mapping thing. How does
Yeah.
that work? And he gave me a quick rundown. Or another time, we had a problem with a model, and then Wilson's magic was just, well, that's a max one. And we just open this in 3D as max, and whoop-de-doo. And he fixed something that I was stuck with for a week, and all it took was like 5 minutes with Wilson, and he was like, nah, we just open it here and there, and
That's
done.
really cool.
Well, I imagine you've done so much troubleshooting because
Mm.
you've experienced so many different facets of
Yeah.
the process when building a model, right? So you're going to have quite a large knowledge base.
Yeah.
And the advantage you're going to have too is because you've done animation, you're going to understand how the modeling has to inform the animation, right? And what to look for and the rigging part of it. Have you ever rigged?
There's like rigging is more like setting up the thing for the animators to use directly after that.
Exactly.
But I didn't go into that phase. But I was like doing so-called we put in the joints and we just make it like
Skinning?
skin it, yeah,
Skinning.
skin it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The phase after that was like rigging, but I was
Right.
doing only the skin. Yeah.
That makes sense. Skinning and rigging is weird to me because, like, I think when I think rigging, the first thing I think about is
A car.
I actually think
Or a truck.
I actually think skinning. I actually think skinning,
right.
but like, I guess a lot of people.
right.
I guess some people like the rigging part is literally just like. It's probably creating the bones, but then also it's also the control rig. Isn't
the
it?
control,
Right.
Right.
accessibility kind of thing.
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly. Like creating the limits and stuff. And so, okay, when you move a part like this way, it's going to automatically turn this way or whatever.
that's right.
Yeah, stuff like that.
No
yeah.
one just saw what you did.
Yeah, well, I mean, believe me, my explanation with the motion, my explanation was amazing. It was so good.
It was.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that makes sense. So you worked with Kino-san a little bit on that Street Fighter stuff, and then what happened after that?
After that, the initial team was like, we started on Devil May Cry.
Oh, okay, so after that you
Right
were
after
doing
that.
DMC5.
Yeah.
Okay,
So it's
wow.
like the initial guys was like me, Naoki-san, and Kinoshita-san, and of course Itsuno-san.
Okay,
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Cool.
we started.
From the start.
right.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome, huh?
Were you part of the Gashuku, where they
What's
where
a
they
Gashuku?
went?
Oh yeah, I was there.
Oh, holy crap! I didn't even go to that.
So basically, when everyone got together and like spent some time,
Yeah.
Right.
in a little,
Brainstorming.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
That
I wouldn't even
sounds
call it
great.
a hotel, like a
It's like sleepover.
ryokan, like basically it's a sleepover.
It's like a
Like,
sleepover.
it's a camp.
Yeah,
right?
it's a camp.
Camp,
It's a
yeah.
going
That's probably
camping.
what it is. It's camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're not actually camping. They're
It's
not
the design camp
Yeah,
where they're
it's
like, all right,
basically everyone locks themselves in a room and
Yep.
gets shit faced and talks about
and
game design.
let's flesh out. That's where they kind of flesh out the base of the game.
Yeah.
At least at Capcom, that's what we do.
Yeah,
I don't know what
yeah,
happens to other companies, but yeah, oh
it's
man,
pretty cool and fun. I've
You've done that too?
no,
Oh,
I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Sounded very
I didn't
experiential.
do it for DMC5.
was I the only one that wasn't at the Gashuku?
I've been to Gashu like things, but I've never gone to one where it's like they did for DMC.
That's really cool, man.
That is cool.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
kind of
man.
fun.
Let's talk about the details of that in a second. After we talk about Alex, you got into Capcom.
Yeah.
What did you work on? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Alex time.
Story
It's time for
with
Alex.
Yeah.
Get the
You got
fire
into
going.
Capcom. What did you work on right after you got in?
Well, when I got in, I first had to survive my Shinjin Kenshu, my beginner's training.
Yeah, I wanted to
Oh.
hear this because this is interesting. Because
I
you were,
guess, yeah, it's a rare case to have.
yeah,
that. Like,
you actually came into the company as a new hire,
yeah.
which
The
means you are
reason-
Capcom proper, unlike the
Ah.
three of us.
Not the tainted ones.
We are the mid-career. Well, I don't know how you
Yeah,
would say that.
yeah,
We're like the outsiders, but you are pure,
I was
purebred
Yeah,
Capcom.
take it,
boy.
take
Born
it
and
in
raised
there.
Capcom.
Born and bred,
Swallow it up.
your blood runs
That's
Capcom.
Got the brainwash.
That's right.
No, so how that happens is there is a simple rule for artists that if you have worked in a game company before, then you are mid-career. If you haven't, even if that's unrelated to your actual skill level or your age in that case, because it was actually a tad too old to theoretically be a Shinjin, it was like the oldest guy among all the people. And it was not that's not bad or anything. It was, but I stuck out a bit in age. Just because experiential there, and they have a point. It's like if you've never worked on games, well then we kind of gotta like lead you on to that in
Right.
a way. And because my case is I'm experienced with working on 2D, but I had zero 3D like knowledge, and they kind of pound that into you when you are in the Shinjin Kenshu. I mean, pounding in the sense of it's a pretty fast paced learning of. The first 2 weeks we had a business training, so to say, when we all had to wear suits and go through the ropes of Japanese
Oh, God.
Shinjin Kenshu. After that, Capcom is very relaxed about it, and you can
Yeah.
wear your own clothes.
However,
However, jeez,
go ahead. What are you wearing right now?
I took the challenge. I never
wearing
stopped wearing the tie and the
You're wearing
shirt.
jeans today.
I am, yeah.
No,
I'm
no,
letting go a little bit, but the rule is the tie and the shirt, basically. I do wear suits sometimes, but
It's a little
It's-
a little hot right now.
it's a
for
bit
suits.
hot. And then if you cycle to work, it's also kind of a waste
I
of the
bet.
cloth.
But he's worn a shirt and tie ever since he started at Capcom.
Really?
Every day.
Every day. No
I've seen
exceptions.
I've seen you in like black t-shirts before.
Well, that's during lunchtime.
Oh,
Where he
Of course.
changes it. It's
Of
casual
course.
lunch.
Of course.
Casual
of course,
lunch
it's casual
time.
lunch. Of course, that's
Oh,
silly me. Of
Oh,
course,
silly
there's
me.
casual lunch.
no, so yeah, we sometimes do sports together. That's just so. Anyway, you don't want to do that in a tie and a suit or anything. I've done that actually story time again, and I fucking ripped my shirt in half. So that was a shit day.
You ripped a shirt when you tried to exercise, and your
Yeah, well, I
You're just so
and it's like-
massive.
no,
Yeah.
it was like
You have a good shape.
what I do is like, because I came into Capcom April 1st. That's usually when we start with all the
Yep.
new people.
Right.
And so every year on
New
the first,
fiscal.
that day I definitely wear a suit just to kind of celebrate my
Ah.
personal like yearly anniversary.
You just want to show off how better dressed you are than they are.
There's also that. There's also
No,
that.
and I think it was 2 years ago. So I still went with my friends to the park, and it was like, nah, I'm not gonna work out. And then at that little bar on the playground, I was like, I'm just gonna do this, and I fucking ripped my shirt in half in the front. It was so hilarious. But because I had a tie, nobody noticed. But below the tie, the whole shirt just had come apart.
You're like
from the rest.
Superman,
Yeah.
waiting to bust out.
No, I'm not. I'm very far from it. But
He's in good shape.
so, yeah.
Okay.
Shinjin Kenshin,
Shinjin
2
Kenshin.
weeks, you have to wear a suit. I took the challenge, continued with that. But after this, May, June, July, August, it was 4.5, so also half of April, 4.5 months of job training, where they call it core job training, where we went through all kinds of things, learning ZBrush. Maya was very basic at that time. We just did a very brief Maya tutorial, lots of drawing practice. Actually, one of my teachers, because we mentioned him before, in the drawing practice was Ikeno-san.
No, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, so he came there. We had they kind of shuffled it, right? So we had a first training of I think a week or maybe 2 weeks with Ikeno-san. After that, we had other guys. But you meet a lot of the really like sort of old guard of Capcom when you're
Right.
at Shinjin, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, so you worked on this? That's
Yeah.
what? Okay, I'm gonna draw better then. Yeah, it's
Nice.
pretty cool.
That's really cool.
And so, what was your initial question? So I did
So
that
you-
first,
yeah,
and then what did I do? Okay,
yeah.
after I was released from the core job training, I was on Biohazard 7, very briefly.
Also
Doing
known as Resident Evil.
Illustrations
Yes.
or
No, just that was kind of interesting because I left the core job training. I think my own suspicion is that because I'm extremely pragmatic, that they were like, okay, Alex is going to be able to do this, because they sat me down on the desk with 2 more people, and we fixed 3D models for 3 months in a row. Every single day we had about 5-6 models, because there was some hiccup with the LOD for a lot of environment models.
Oh.
So, or LOD is level of detail.
Right.
So if you go far away in the game, or you have an object far away from you, usually we scale that down in the polygon count to make it a bit easy on the graphics card. And for some reason, we had to do, which is people are gonna hate hate that code. But for some reason, we didn't do that automatic. Nowadays, that's usually automated. But we actually did the LOD for hundreds of models in Resident Evil 7
Jesus
by hand.
by hand.
From the full high model to 3 steps down to, I think we started at 210, or maybe we had a 3. I can't clearly
I
remember.
bet you're amazing in optimization now.
Not so much.
But I wonder if it's part of the training.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It was super dry because it was really every day. And I think I would, not to toot my own horn in that sense, but because of that age difference, it's probably, you might be just with more life experience, a bit more resilient to that monotone task. And they certainly would not like to put a 22-year-old who's just out of university and this is his first job ever and so on. And then you sit a person like that in front of 3D models for 3 months is, I think, pretty excruciating. Pretty
bet.
hard.
I
So-
bet, man.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah, I did that, but it was very late stage in the game, so I'm not in the credits or anything like that. It was
Oh,
just
good.
like fixing
Oh, this
stuff.
is towards the end.
And we were our own little team, kind of. We were on the bio 7th floor, but we like just reported to the lead in the environment department. And that's it. Like, we didn't even join team meetings or anything, because
That's
we were
fun.
just like, we came in kind of like 8 teams down. We could fix this for you every
All
day.
right.
hand
I love it
fixing
when a
LOD.
plan comes together.
But I was on it. I didn't realize you were on it as well. Huh.
That's how that
They kept you secret.
We had 2 floors though, so who knows
Yeah,
if we
yeah.
were on the same floor.
Yeah. Okay, so you're fixing LODs for R7, and then what?
3 months, and then I got my actual assignment to DMC5.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That was in January of 2016, I think.
And that was back. That was actually, you were doing illustrations at that point, right?
You mean in DMC5?
Yeah, for DMC5, yeah.
As a training, maybe as a training, I did illustrations, like
Oh, really?
like
Okay.
similar to Wilson, I guess, like Kinoshita-san, who in that regard, even though Nara-san saw my portfolio in the beginning, the guy who was in all of my interviews was Kinoshita-san.
Oh, okay.
And always with this smirky face of like,
Yep. Yep.
you can't see my face, but he has a smirk about him. And
it's not really a negative thing. It's just
No,
the way
no,
he
it's
looks,
like-
right?
The look he
And the
has,
hair and the crazy mop hair.
Dude, yeah, and
the
then he
later
nods
the
at you,
project
he's
gets,
like-
the moppier it gets.
And so I think because of that, because he was in my interviews, there is in Capcom you have a bit of, or in Japan, this senpai kohai thing. So
Yep.
Right.
if some, usually you get taken into the company, especially as a shinjin, because in particular one of the superiors likes your work, and then that also makes it likely that you're gonna end up in his team or his development group. And so I was under Kinoshita-san right from the start, and I had to do 2 weeks of all kinds of training stuff, more training after the training, and then eventually I started working in DMC5.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So now that we've all caught up to DMC5, now we can talk
Yeah.
about the best game at Capcom, if not the world.
Because Matt's in it as Nero, you know.
Nah.
Oh no! Please kill
Let's
that.
not
Quash
spread
that.
that.
rumor.
Let's not spread that falsity. That falsity. What was it like to be at the Gashuku, where you guys are coming up with the base ideas for the game? You guys went to the Capcom, right? I assume the Capcom resort.
Yeah.
Capcom actually has a resort, which is pretty nice.
It's
Is
a little.
that where it was?
Yeah.
Oh,
With a
right.
large
The food is
pool.
awesome, man.
The food is
It's good.
specially
It's
made for you,
Japanese.
and it's actually free for employees, which is crazy.
For employees.
Yeah.
Well,
No, I've never gone yet.
There's like a certain amount of money you can spend there
Per year, right.
like as a stipend. There must be, I don't know. There's some reason we do that, but we do that, right? And so, yeah, you guys all went. You guys, but probably the very core creative team went there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And at that point, were most of the ideas already fleshed out at that point, or were you guys coming up with all the ideas there?
I think most of like characters and like storylines is the most focused on.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Interesting. Okay.
like how the story goes and
Okay.
how it proceeds.
Were you guys drawing like concept art there to like kind of figure out like, okay, design wise, maybe we're going to do this, maybe we're going to do this?
I think the gameplays that affects will they did flush out the stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Is that the stuff that was next to Kinoshita-san's desk? Because when I came in, like next to Kinoshita-san on the wall was all of this concept art by him, and I always wondered because like that looked like super early development stuff.
Yeah, that was quite early, but that wasn't in the Gashuku.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, the Gashuku was like more simple. It's like more like pinpoints and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
you're just coming up with like a critical path type thing. I mean, you said you already had kind of fleshed out the characters.
It's
and
more
whatnot.
like this character interacts here, like comes in here when you play the game.
Oh, I
It's
see.
like
Oh, right.
how
Basically
to
brainstorming.
go,
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which
Drawing a
character
map.
and stuff like that.
Okay.
And this character has this power, that power, and how it
Okay.
goes.
Okay. Interesting. So after the Gashuku, you get back and I assume you're already working on 3D models at that point. Is that what you were doing?
I was doing like a workflow and confirmation of how things should work.
Okay. You were setting up the pipelines.
Yeah, the pipeline. Yeah.
Pipelines. Holy bejesus. Okay.
Already.
Okay. Setting up the pipelines. And because I know, come to think of it, a lot of the base models that we had when we were outsourcing different models, or like when we were outsourcing high poly, right?
Yes.
Like you actually made a lot of the base models, didn't you, yourself?
Yeah, I did. It's like under the guidance of like Nagi-san and Kinoshita-san
Okay.
and Itsuno-san also.
Okay.
It's like, do the sketches like this monsters move this way, like this is how he idles and like how he looks in a way. And after that, posing in a way that we can make it in a game model.
Yep.
So there's like these two main models that we will send out to the sources.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember that. Yep. And then we would, we would outsource the high poly based on those, where they would sculpt a lot of the detail in, right?
Yeah.
And they look pretty awesome.
Oh man, the high poly on those are amazing, right?
The
I remember-
canvas is awesome, man.
I loved it when we had a test scene in the game where you would see all the high poly models in the scene, right? You'd see like the Goliath, for instance, and you'd see like we had all these different bosses and all these different characters in this one scene, and the bosses, they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
right?
The scale is just insane.
Dude,
Yeah.
the scale in that
crazy,
scene
man.
is great, man.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Okay. And then what about you? So you got in, you were doing, I guess you were just to get your feet wet. Kino-san was kind of having you draw a little bit, but then what?
Then that's how it started. I think he likes to test people.
Oh, yes,
not in a
he
mean way,
does.
but he slowly rolls up
Yep.
the pressure, the speed, like dials it up. And it's an exponential curve, however. It starts slow, and then they drop you into the ocean deep, and I'm like, do this. And you're like, what?
Okay. No kidding.
Yeah. No, because it's things, I don't know. Do you want to go to the nitty gritty already?
I mean, if there's something you'd rather go into first.
Scale, but the size of that, time-wise, it would be interesting because it started with something I could do in a few hours, and then went to a few days of work and reiterations and everything. And after that, I had batches of maybe 2 weeks, and then it was 6 weeks, and then I started on something that I worked on for a year. So it really, like, it's this exponential curve of like, okay, you passed this gate, next level, and past
That's
this
really
next
interesting.
level.
Then
And
you
so
worked
the
on for-
tasks just grow, and you have to do more because naturally you also know more about the game, so you can do more detailed
Right.
stuff about the game because you tag along with these things. And
Yeah, he's interesting because he'll do that. He wants to pull out the potential in people. So certainly, I think Kino-san likes to watch, and then it'd be great to have him here, but he'd probably just make me talk for him. But yeah, no, he likes to pull a lot of things out of people.
Yeah.
And sometimes the thing is you don't know what the feedback is from him. I don't know how you felt about that. Did you ever feel like you got feedback from him? Because a lot of times we'd be like, keep going.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I get along with him in that regard really well. Like, because
he's great.
he's very, like, he doesn't say much, but that's just my style. I don't need long explanations.
Right.
And sometimes he gives you this very emotional kind of impression of how it looks right now, but he wants it more, and then he makes a sound, and you're like, all right. But
And
then
he
you
makes
have
a sound.
something
That's key
to work.
right there,
Yeah,
because he
like-
doesn't even explain what's wrong.
Yeah.
He gives
and
you just a grunt
do
or
it more.
something.
or something. And a word that he loved in the beginning was shutto.
Okay.
So basically, you could probably in English say make it more sleek.
Yeah, sleek, tight.
But that's the only word he said about the whole review. He looked at it and was like, man, it's got to be more sleek. And then you're sitting there and wondering, what's sleek about this?
Right, that's what I would
gun?
imagine. I would
Yeah.
Like, how am I
imagine,
gonna? But the great thing is that it doesn't like block your creativity. I think because if you get too
Right.
much feedback, you're like, I gotta do this and this.
Nope.
And sometimes that happens, and then they accidentally block you in, and your work gets worse and worse and worse.
Right.
Because you dare less and less to go out of those bounds. But if you have one word, you're challenged. You're like, okay, what does that mean? So it's just the right amount for me, at least. It's
That's
like
Well,
the
no,
spice,
it's
right?
great because on the artist side, definitely you feel that, and I think a lot of the people we work with are on that side. But on the producer or production side, right?
Yeah.
Then
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like that is great until you run out of time and money.
Right. Okay, we don't have time. We don't have time for the creativity.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Oh, that's definitely.
what do we
Can we
need?
get some more
Not-
direction here?
Not in a negative way, but reiterations are a thing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but in a good way, of course. On the creative side,
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
on the
of course.
production end, there was always the struggle of sometimes I can't, like, the deadline was 2 weeks ago. How am I
Right.
supposed to do it again?
Right.
Like now, this is not, and just do it, and you're like, well, okay, I'm
Right.
just gonna make it work somehow.
That's cool. Well, Kino-san also has one of his mottos is that deadlines birth quality, essentially.
Well, I mean, I think
Burns
people need
equality.
limitations, right?
Yeah, people
right?
need
You
limitations,
need to.
you know.
You need to have certain limitations, otherwise people just keep going. There's no, like, any software, for example. There's no perfect software. There's no real perfect anything. So you can just keep working on something and working on something and working on something and making it. So you eventually have to have some sort of deadline. But at the same time, maintaining the balance of keeping the creativity there too.
Yeah.
And that's always the challenge, right? Because you don't want to stifle creativity, but at the same time, we have to work within boundaries.
Yeah, I bet that thing that you worked on for a year, that was the van, wasn't it?
That was the way. That
was
was,
the van.
it was more than a year
That
altogether.
thing
But
was-
in between, I stopped working. I did other stuff, and then eventually I came. That was when I mentioned earlier, I was with Kinoshita-san and Nagaki-san. Both was because I finished the van on the Kinoshita-san side, and then I was off SNG for a few days, Swords and Guns, or DMC5 for a few days, stayed on my desk, and then I got reassigned to DMC5 to just finish my van. Kind of, but then it was on a Nagaki-san because there was just so much left.
Oh yeah, dude, there was a lot.
Well, the van is a character, right?
Yeah,
That's right.
It's
It's a character.
awesome, man.
Crazy.
It's a character. That's
Going
right.
by the numbers of how
It's
much
not a vehicle,
stuff
it's a
is in there.
character.
The environment guys would not take that one.
Nope, we're not gonna make that shit.
Like, no, we're
that
not.
is a
true.
character.
That's what you mean by character. Yes, that's
Yeah.
true. It was entirely
Yeah.
made by the people who usually make humans.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the
Yeah.
the character
And the monsters
design.
and
people
stuff.
make that
Designer.
car.
Make
Ah,
the van.
the van is
We're
a
not
character.
touching that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, exactly.
You guys-
Touching that with the stick. This is too much stuff in there. I don't know what this
There's
means.
so much detail.
Oh, I know.
There's so much detail.
So nice, man.
We have two of the artists here, man. They can vouch that what I'm saying is true. It's the best looking game in the world, man. There you go.
Well, I mean, that's subjective, so yeah, it is the
There you
best
go,
looking game in the world.
subjectively, subjectively.
You can write that on a box and everyone will be
That's right. Oh, that's what we should put on the package.
There you go. There's PR speak right there. Market
Matt
it.
Walker.
Yeah, it's the 7
Mark-
milestones you
network.
usually have. Or is it milestones? You know these selling points. Selling
Yeah,
points
the
for
bullet
games.
points
We
at
just,
the
back,
we
yeah.
just put one bullet point at the bottom. Obviously, best game in the world.
Obviously.
Yeah. Says producer Matt.
or subjectively best looking game of the year.
yeah, subjectively best.
Scratch the previous points.
That'd be good.
But again, joking aside, it is fucking beautiful.
Ah, dude, it's so
That,
good.
Awesome,
it's true
guys.
in the sense that I was sometimes surprised. I was like, we this really? We're making this? This is gonna be like that?
Well, especially
I asked Nagaki-san, are we gonna tone this down? He was like, no, that's in the game. That's what?
no, Nagaki-san though, man. I feel like that is it him or is it who is it that has the high standards? Because like
Well, both of them.
maybe both of them, but like
they have, from my perspective, they have standards in different like areas.
okay,
And,
what are the different areas? I'm really curious.
well, it's hard to pinpoint, but like Kinoshita-san has an amazing eye for sort of the flow of a form, the rhythm in a design, and he's just, or also if stuff makes sense in 3D, it's amazing how fast he would look at a design of mine and say, "What you do there? If you turn it around, that doesn't even connect," and you're like,
That makes sense.
"Oh crap!" And you worked on it like you're totally blind after 2 weeks, and you never saw it because you're so focused in on
Right.
other things, and he just looks at, "Nah, this doesn't work," and he's very much about fixing lines, arching, like the rhythm,
The form,
and
the overall
so he's,
form,
he's
yeah.
very much artistic, and Nagaki-san to me is more this very technical, very
Yep,
detailed
yep.
about
Yes.
This
things.
is right,
How do
yes.
things connect? Do they actually look? Do they look realistic? How do they look? And he's super strict about this.
Yeah.
This doesn't look realistic. We have to change this.
Oh yeah, looking at his art feedback is always like that, man. It's always like that. Oh man, that's really cool. Well, did either of you guys play any of the Devil May Cry games before getting into Capcom?
I did 4.
MC4,
I did
right on,
4.
right on. How about you?
I did not.
Okay, fair enough. That's okay. That's
I'm,
there's nothing wrong
I'm
with that.
in that
It's okay.
sense, the good point is my favorite game that Capcom made. That personal favorite was actually Itsuno-san's Dragon's Dogma.
Oh, cool.
Nice,
Oh,
nice.
That's what I really, really liked.
Nice.
I loved that game. And then working with Itsuno-san was pretty crazy
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that regard. Right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, wow.
Like-
One of my most favorite games when I had an Xbox way back, it was like, what?
That's
What do you like most about Dragon's Dogma?
I think, in general, it was I think what fascinated me the most was the attention to detail in some regards. The I don't know who put that touch in there, but that
That was me.
that was you. Obviously,
Absolutely
so there
not.
was the troll or ogre, and if you would have, not to be biased about like male and female, but it was just the ogre was a male, and if you had a female pawn on your team, he would snatch that pawn from you and steal it because he liked girls. And there was a whole animation of him like kind of hobbling away and giggling, and you're like, what? And there was like an attention to detail and animation that I
Right.
hadn't seen in a game before, personally.
Right.
And there were the little goblins that like kind of try to mug you on the way to
Right,
the castle or whatever.
right.
And they jumped out of bushes, and they all had like these. It was a group of 5, and they had their own characters,
Yeah.
sort of different animations, and some were kind of stupid or
Oh,
falling
wow.
over. And this attention to detail I really liked about Dragon's Dogma.
Have you guys clearly put that kind of detail into DMC5?
That I don't know. I didn't do animations,
Ah,
but
fair
I
enough.
put that
That's a good
attention of detail into the trailer, man.
But Matt, you know the animation.
the trailer, yeah. Oh, dude, yeah. Well, the animation's Hiraku-san, right? What about how was it having worked on DMC or having played DMC4? How was it to make DMC5?
Wow. Actually, I can't remember much of 4.
Okay, it's been a little while.
Yeah, it's been a while. But I still remember, like, the impact when I saw that 4-legged fire guy monster boss.
Oh, Burial.
Yeah, Burial.
Burial.
Yeah,
Burial.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this scene is awesome, man. It's
Yeah.
like
It's an
smashing
awesome
down
boss.
everything. It's like burning like crazy.
Yeah,
All the houses and stuff.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Nero need to like dig him. Like,
Yeah, but then you guys created the Goliath, dude. The Goliath destroys that giant cathedral.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's really awesome.
That's what I'm like. Yeah, dude. The Goliath is definitely like. I mean, it's.
I wish
very much
everyone could see their
cool.
faces because they're glowing with smiles.
Dude, it's the Goliath is amazing, and not a proximity to the burial
Approximation?
fight. Not approximation, but like, it's
Yeah.
it's
Similar
similar
equivalence.
It's an excellent equivalent. Yeah. To the burial fight, to the burial fight. You know,
Oh, that's
True.
true.
because it's got all this cool
Yeah.
stuff going on with the environment stuff, but then also the detail in that character, man.
Yeah.
Like all the faces in the Goliath, man. Like all the different animal faces and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Oh my god, dude.
That's
The
pretty
detail you guys
It's
put in
like-
is amazing.
It's a legendary designer.
Oh, it's so good.
Ikeno-san.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's freaking cool, man.
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be an awesome game, Pete. It's gonna be a
Well,
good
that's
game.
what you keep telling me pretty much every day, and I sit next to you. So, and I do see it. So there's that. But
Right.
what was, you've been here for a few years now. You two. What would you say your favorite part about working on this project has been?
For me, it's like I get to play it and test out the game mechanics and stuff.
Okay.
And you can say like debug and a bit of that. But you get to know that what kind of game you're doing is like, wow, it's really nice.
When you see, well, because up until a certain point, you guys are working really hard on one specific aspect of it, like the art, like this, like the van, for instance. You're focused on that van, and then when it's like, all right, it's time we got to do a play test. It's time to debug. It's time for us to kind of balance the difficulty and stuff. So everybody stop what you're doing. Let's do a playthrough of the game, right? And then when you get to see how your aspect interacts with the others, like the animations, for instance, Hiraki-san and those guys, what they've implemented as the animations and the art, and the characters that you guys have done, to see all that come together must be really freaking cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh man.
The animations is like really nice, right?
Oh yeah, dude.
Very
Yeah.
stylized. And,
Where I was not so much during production, like on the art side, you're usually so freaking busy you don't even do the play check. When people come do the play check, you're like, all right, I'm gonna finish this drawing, right?
Right,
Because
that makes sense.
due
Oh, yeah,
date.
they're so busy.
So
yeah.
see you guys.
Yeah.
But when we were developing the trailer for the E3, we would, even though I wasn't on the team anymore, I would still get those emails, and I would like follow that like almost every other day. I would check
Nice.
that folder. Is there a new version of our E3 trailer?
Yeah.
Because I was so stoked to see the progress,
Oh, right,
even of
dude.
the trailer, and I was like, "Whoa, this is coming together."
Putting that trailer together too, like that was in the end, it was an awesome trailer, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
It was a good
We're pretty
trailer.
excited
It was
for that.
it got me
It
super
came a
hyped.
long way.
The Dante thing.
Oh, yeah.
man.
In the end,
Yeah, in the end, it's like, whoa, with the bike.
Yeah, the next trailer, when we finally put that out, it's going to be pretty sick.
I haven't seen that one even.
Baby,
Gotta rummage through some folders. I
Baby.
guess.
That one's,
That's
trust
right,
me,
cry, man.
you're going to like it.
man, we got some awesome stuff in store, man. But just yeah, because I was the one that was I was producing that trailer, producing that E3 trailer.
Sounds you
And-
laid an egg, man.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, he popped it out of his ass.
going from what it started from to what it became. Like what it started from was pretty cool, but like just it got so tight by the end. It was like every moment just like yes, this is gonna be good.
Actually, like night and day, because I didn't actually see the first trailer until the very first cut of the trailer.
Right,
Until
later,
much
right?
later, and I'm like, wow, I am so
Right.
glad we didn't go
Yeah.
with this, because this new one is so much better.
It's a nice
Now
tight
you're
cut.
hyping it up. Wow.
Oh,
No, I'm talking about the E3
Oh, the other one.
Yeah.
E3
That
trailer,
doesn't-
yeah. No,
The new trailer, well, who knows when we're going to see that.
we got.
But it's gonna be
I
good.
wanna
We got
see
some good
it.
stuff in store. We got some good stuff in
Wow.
store. It's gonna be good, dude. It's gonna be hype, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So, favorites during production? You asked.
Favorite what?
You asked favorite string production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very simple for me. It's the trailer.
I'm curious. Yeah. Of the stuff that's in the trailer, can you guys talk about anything that you actually made that you're like, I made that and it's in the trailer? For you, the van, obviously.
Made,
But.
It's more than that.
You made a design, and you
Yeah, since I
QA
design
the-
stuff, small things that are almost invisible.
Oh, yeah?
Buttons on Nero's jacket.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, the
Okay.
side buttons, the hooks. He has a bracelet
Yeah.
that
Yep.
I think is seen when he jumps out of the van,
Yep.
very briefly. Well, the trailer.
Right. Because his accessories are the only things that we didn't scan.
Right, because we didn't have those.
You know?
Yeah.
That's stuff
That's
that you
true.
guys modeled. Yep.
And oddly enough, the writing on the trailer is my own handwriting. But not just like, I don't write like that. I made 30, 40, like all kinds of versions.
Wait, where? Where's
when
the writing?
in the trailer, when the trailer, the van comes in.
Oh,
view
the
and it's
van, the van.
blue. I wrote that. That's pretty weird. Like when I saw the trailer for the first time, like on E3, and I was like, that's kind of odd.
That's really cool.
That's just my handwriting.
Like-
Why are you putting the centerpiece in there? But nobody would not. Sorry, now you guys know. But
Wait, are you saying the words "Devil May Cry"? You wrote that?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't know
I
that.
wrote that.
Oh, you're
we
talking
actually
about
made it
handwriting.
somewhere,
You're talking about
but
the
I-
neon light.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Holy
that's
bejesus.
I didn't know
No,
that.
that's really
That's
cool.
really cool handwriting.
that has to come from somewhere. And
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that I didn't
Took
know
a
you
pen
did it.
and just wrote like 40 versions of Devil May Cry, and I wrote them. When I designed the trailer, I just scaled it down and made a tiny trailer, and put that in a Photoshop file, and had like 40 little trailers, and then it just kept on writing Devil May Cry, turned that into a neon-esque light. Initially, we went with we looked at a pink one, right, and then we got to change this around for reasons, and took a blue version, and then Itsuno-san just picked a few favorites, and then. But I didn't even. It was like, nah, actually, just go with that one, and
That's
that was
really
it.
cool.
It was like,
Holy crap,
upscaled the thing.
That's super cool.
That is cool.
'Cause, yeah, you're right. That's a centerpiece for sure.
It's so great
Yeah.
because it's like it's really. I mean, in the sense that artwork is handmade. It's
Right.
like where would that come from? Well, you actually somebody had to
Right.
to write
Sure.
that, and it's just handwriting in
Yeah.
that sense.
Yeah.
It's actually just
Right,
handwriting.
That's
right.
amazing, man. That's
I
really
had
cool.
no idea
neither
you
did I.
were responsible for writing.
That's
it.
So
really cool.
the trailer is, I think, anything in there, anything.
The whole
written, the Pope.
1 year of
posters.
your life.
There's so much
van.
assets, so many assets. I
Yeah.
drove Nagaki-san crazy with the amount of assets I squeezed into that car. Because it was not, it's got to go in there. It's detailed, so you got to put this
Right.
in there.
You guys have stuff like on the outside. You have the "I love Osaka"
Yeah, that's
bumper
great.
sticker.
Yeah.
Like,
I put Shiga Prefecture's Biva code, like these small
Did you really?
nuances
No
of
kidding.
instead of I think I put Lake Michigan on there too because
Really?
you know,
No
like
kidding.
this, I know these bumper stickers exist, but then I made these little Osaka references in
That's
various
cool.
spots.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I know there's something about Nico on the van somewhere. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I've seen.
Oh yeah,
written.
she has her personalized stickers.
That's yeah.
She
Yeah.
does. She does.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
like a racer's name she has on the side of the window.
Yes,
Her name.
that's what I'm thinking of.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking of. That's cool.
Those nice little
For you,
touches.
obviously, you made all the base models for all the monsters. You know.
Most of it, yeah.
You know. Is there anything else from the trailer that you're like, yeah, that was mine?
Nah, I can't think.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, well, like you said, you set up the art pipeline, though, man. I mean, really.
Yeah.
He's responsible for all the art in the damn game.
Yeah.
The puppeteer in a way, right?
You know,
The
exactly.
whole thing.
Exactly.
Funneling through.
Is there anything else aside from Nero's accessories and his buttons and the van that you were like, oh yeah,
That's visible in the trailer.
yeah?
Nico's tattoos.
Oh, you designed her tattoos.
Since I used to be an illustrator. All of these things where I have to do something in 2D, I'm often like, oh, I want to do it. Let me do this. This is fun. And so tattoos was one of these things. Posters as well.
Oh, okay, cool.
Not
That's
all of the
interesting.
posters. We used to have a ton of stuff in there. So other
Right.
people made work too, of course. But
That's cool, man.
Nico's tattoos. That might trailer-wise, that might be it.
Right.
Right.
I mean,
There's
obviously,
a
there's all
lot
kinds of
more
other
that I
stuff that
can't
you worked
mention.
on.
Yeah,
We
just
can't
wait
talk
for
about.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
Yeah, dude. Nice.
All the little details, though. I mean, a lot of times people don't forget or they take it for granted. I mean, of course they do. You know, I myself, when I'm playing a game, I don't necessarily look at all the details sometimes, but there are always those times where you just want to take a back seat and look at, you know, especially you guys as artists, I'm sure when you play a game, you stop for a minute and start looking at everything, the walls and looking at the textures and looking at what posters, like, for example, are on the walls and how they design certain things. So
Exactly.
it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That is a bit of a pet peeve of mine too. That I like that in games. I like attention to detail.
Right.
So, and if there's games where the game itself is great, but then you have posters which seem to have been made late in development for reasons that just there was no time, then that is a bit sad, because it was a chance to express yourself artistically or express something about the game world, and putting that little bit of extra time in there to create this version of the game universe, I think that's just fun. For me, it's fun.
Right.
Oh,
Sure.
It is fun. And it's fun to find that stuff too, you know. It's just when you're, you know, in production, when you're making the assets, you know, and it's just like, yeah, okay, we want this little detail. It's like, dude, is anybody, I mean, you know,
anyone gonna see
is anyone
this?
going to look at that? Like, seriously? Like, we're going to spend the extra time and money just to have this thing? But, like, it does, in the end, like, it does, it really improves the
The
experience.
sum of all
you
parts
know?
and all that. And
Yeah.
but you do have to, again, production is a very, very time consuming, all encompassing.
Yeah.
You know, we're making a product, so there's so much that goes into it and so much balancing that has to happen on so many different levels. So it's always a challenge. And with that, I think it's time for us to move to our new segment, man.
Ooh, is it
Well,
a
it's
new
not
segment?
new, it's new since last.
All right. Our new since last week's
episode.
segment. Sweet.
Not last week's, last episode. Last week we didn't have a podcast.
That's a good point. Let's do this.
All right, cue the music. All right, and we're here with our special segment.
All right. What's our special segment, Pete?
Well, why don't we let Maki introduce the special segment?
So this is Maki's memoir.
All right.
That's right.
On what? On what
Maki's-
podcast? Can you whisper it again?
Maki's memoir.
Okay.
That sounded a little bit rough. I mean, do it a little more like sultry.
Maki's memoir.
All right.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Nice. Good deal. Now it's your turn, Pete. Now you do it sultry.
Maki's memoir.
All right.
I don't know if that was sultry or just really nasty.
It's kind of
nasty.
creepy, but that's okay.
Okay.
Okay. It's not as creepy as I would have been. So,
Yeah, that's true.
see.
So yeah, I think we got a lot of positive feedback on the memoir section last
Maki's
week,
memoirs,
or
yeah, man.
well, last time I should say. So we're gonna continue it until you guys tell us to stop.
There you go.
So and Maki, you've been enjoying the journal.
Yep, I've been writing for about 2 weeks now, I guess. Yeah, I've been enjoying writing stuff and looking for stuff to write.
Nice.
Okay,
Awesome.
cool. Well, let's hear some of it.
Okay, so I'm not gonna read
I
my
know.
Right, you're not gonna read,
stuff.
right.
So
I know,
I know
will
the
let you
protocol.
guys- yeah, so whoever is gonna.
Oh, you choose who starts.
Yeah, who starts?
All right. The first. Pete, can you just read
Sure.
a disclaimer? I just
Oh,
want
yes,
to be
okay.
on the safe side.
We always have to start Maki's memoirs with a disclaimer.
Ah, the disclaimer.
This diary contains Maki's raw thoughts, and due to English being the writer's second language and the nature of the content, this diary may contain content which can be considered not appropriate to broadcast on a company's podcast. Read at your own discretion. This is a message to everyone in the room.
Is that to us? Yeah, it's to us. Okay. The
That's
disclaimer's
not
to
you.
us.
Not to-
Right.
No, no,
Can
the
I still
disclaimer
get
is
that? I don't
to
know.
them out there.
Is it? I think
Yeah,
it's
but
to us.
the reader discretion
Is
not
us.
for us.
Fair enough. That's smart. That's
Yeah.
smart. It's your fault if we get in trouble, Matt. I
Right.
get that.
It's not my fault. I'm safe.
So let's move it on to you then, Matt,
All
since
right.
people are probably already tired of hearing my voice.
All right. Should I say what the day is here? Should I read the date?
Ah.
No?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. July 12th, 2018. Thursday.
Oh, that's the last one, the first one, right?
I was at, oh, you're right. This one's from a while ago.
yeah.
Where should I start?
So where did we leave
Uh-oh, we're running into some
time?
technical difficulties with the notebook. Uh-huh.
Yeah, from here, I guess.
All right.
Thursday the 19th. There you go.
All right. July 19th, 2018. It's just been a regular day so far. When writing an email, I mistyped and wrote everything.
Every.
Everything. Everything. See, that's what happens if you don't care about when you're reading.
You corrected it.
Everything. Yeah, exactly. The instant I saw that, I heard everything in my head and made me giggle. That's everything. Everything. I know what you're talking about.
She's trying to let you. Don't have to hold it in. You can laugh.
Yeah, you can laugh. It's okay.
Everything.
This reminded me of a couple typo/autocorrect my coworkers from my previous job made in their emails and actually sent out. I didn't get to see those emails because they were made way before I started working with them, however. Number 1, best retards.
Wow.
Added at the end of an email addressed to clients of the company he was working for.
That is not good.
I can totally see how this could happen. Yeah, I'm glad I've never made that one. I've made some bad ones, but not that. Number 2, sorry for the incontinence this has caused.
Wow. Okay. That must have been a really horrible situation.
I don't know what she was apologizing for, but it must have been really bad. So bad that it caused people incontinence. Good call, Maki. Good call.
Yeah.
Those were the 2 legendary stories passed down in the group. I miss those good old days. Stupid question I asked today. Where is Capcom Vancouver in Canada?
You did not ask that.
I did to try.
That's something I would have done. Something I would have done. You know.
Did you find out where it was?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
When asking? Is that how it goes? It's
Yeah,
like,
I figured out looking at his
never mind.
face.
All right, let's go around the horn here. Wilson, you read the next one, man.
Friday, July 20th. Troy shared a piece of wisdom with me today, and I found it to be very valuable. Silence is golden. Oh, wow.
Was he telling you to shut up?
No. He was just, we were just chatting, and that somehow came up. I think. Yeah.
He probably wanted to tell Mike to shut up, but he wasn't there.
Ah.
Yeah, I would have told Mike shut up. All right.
I go on?
Yeah, please.
Okay. He told me Japanese people tend to feel uncomfortable with silence in conversations.
How did you feel being told how, as a Japanese person, how you feel by Troy?
Well, I think that's true.
Troy, you win this
Really?
one.
Because
You
I
win
always
this one.
felt that there's often many times where there's a prolonged silence when you're with someone in Japan, and it's totally okay.
Really?
Yeah, because as an East Coaster, we talk a lot, and the more silence there is, the more uncomfortable we become.
Oh, I know, especially in elevators and stuff like that. Right?
Yeah.
In the lift or something, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like this silence all the time.
Okay. All right. Is there any more to it?
He also cautioned me this does not work for people who loves to talk, and they will
There you go.
take your silence as go ahead, keep talking, and they'll just keep running. Wow.
It's deep. It's deep.
That's steep. Yeah.
Oh.
So Troy hates people who talk.
No, he didn't say that.
He's probably so happy that we're not there now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just one technique that he could use or he's using. Like,
What the technique is to let people want to talk and just not talk back.
like maybe to get information from.
Oh,
Well,
that's a
like-
little bit different. That's like, give a person enough rope and they'll hang themselves.
Well, that's true, but you've used that before. You used that at work, haven't you?
Of course, yeah. Just let people keep talking. People love talking. Let them spill the beans.
But
Sure.
in I understand what we're saying here, though. In letting people who are uncomfortable with silence, letting it be silent.
Kind of force them to
They'll say-
talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Say something
Yeah.
that they are not supposed to do.
Yeah,
Right.
sure.
That makes
sure.
sense. So that's one of Troy's
makes
Troy's strategies there. That makes sense. Nice. All right. What's up, Alex? What's the next one?
Good question. Which one do you want to have?
Just
You
in
got
the
a
next
preference?
one.
We got to go in chronological order. So you
Oh,
might as well
we
go ahead.
are?
Yeah.
The next one is about Troy again. That's why I wondered if you
That's
should skip
okay.
ahead.
I guess there's.
Well, you sit next to each other. isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Troy's pretty beefy. Beefy Troy.
All right. Tuesday, July 24th. Went to Taniguchi with Troy.
What's
They were close-
Taniguchi?
What's
Taniguchi curry is a curry place that I often go to.
Yeah,
they
there you
have
go.
really good curry.
So
Yeah, a
Go to
little
Taniguchi
secret
Curry.
there. If you come to Capcom or near the
If you
headquarters,
come to Osaka,
you're gonna
go to
want to
Taniguchi
go
Curry.
to Taniguchi Curry.
That's all right. You
It's the one
can
in the
say hi to
bookstore.
Maki.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Folk.
Heard about it.
It's good.
So, went to Taniguchi with Troy. They were closed again. Last time we went.
Well, that was anticlimactic.
Sorry. I'm not going to read that again. Last time we went there, they were closed. See, you didn't even wait until.
Oh, that would have been better. Yeah, sorry, Alex.
Yeah.
This seems to have become a pattern. Whenever I try to go to Taniguchi without checking their Twitter beforehand, they are closed. This has happened enough times that you calls it Curse of Taniguchi. Wow, right.
The curse.
We tried to go to another curry place nearby, and they were closed too. What's going on with curry restaurants today? Troy was very sad that we couldn't get curry. That's it for that day.
Oh, poor Troy.
Oh.
He should have went to Monaco. Does he like Monaco?
Manakamana,
Oh, he likes it,
a
yeah.
Nepalese curry place.
Yeah.
Good.
Should have gone to Monaco.
Uh-oh, we lost the
No.
page
Oh,
here.
lost the page. Oh.
What-
25th is where you should continue.
So we're on the 25th now. Okay. Wednesday, July 25th. Found Magic Mike on Gyao.
All right.
Yeah, it's like a free. It's a website or app that you can download on your phone, and you can watch free movies and animes and stuff.
Is this legal?
Ah,
Yeah, so I can talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
that one's safe.
Okay, so Gyao. There you go.
Yeah.
A while ago, Mike being Mike, say his name.
Magic Mike.
Say his name.
Mihail. Magic Mihail.
A while ago, Mike said this movie is based on his life up until he joined Capcom. So I had to watch it.
Have you guys watched that movie?
No.
It's
But judging
it's about
from Matt's
strippers.
face, it's
Male
so good.
strippers.
It's about Mike. It's about Mike, exactly.
Watched the first 25 minutes and then paused it to go take a shower. Whoa, that sounds a bit. Whoa.
That was my usual shower time.
Oh, I
That
see.
night.
It wasn't like, oh, I gotta take a shower to cool down.
That's only with Mike. That's the only.
Okay. So far the movie didn't vibe with me,
Oh.
but I need to watch this. It's Mike's life. Word of the day: nerd flu.
Nice.
We're not gonna
Nice,
talk
the
about
nerd
that.
flu. We're not gonna. Oh, I guess we're not. Gonna. I like that. I like the end of that one. It's good. All right. This is a different story, right? All right, July 26th. Went to Taniguchi with you and Luca for lunch.
Who's Luca?
Story, I see.
Luca is one of our buddies in Loke, one of our Italian buddies. He's a friend of ours.
He's a friend of ours.
He's a
yeah.
friend of ours. That's right.
But he's Italian, not Italian-American.
That's right.
So he speaks with a cool accent.
That's true. That's very true. He
He
does
does
have
like
a,
this.
he's got a, oh, he does
Like
have
my
an
father.
accent. Yeah, your father's got a cool accent too. All right. So curry was good and spicy as usual. Went to Cafe Luca for coffee after curry.
Oh, so he has a cafe?
And there's a cafe named Cafe Luca in
Oh.
Kitahama.
I know it actually.
They had a sign for their featured food item. It said Luca dog.
This is getting weird.
This is awesome. Had to take pictures of the sign and Luca. Outside was super hot, but lunch was satisfying and fun. Went to yoga after work. Class was good, but I think I was the stiffest person in the class. After the class is over, they make tea for everyone.
Oh, that's nice.
I was talking to the instructor. He said, "It's not that I'm super stiff. It seems I just don't know how to move my body." I felt better when I heard it. But when I thought about it later again, I thought that makes me sound like a clumsy person. You're not clumsy.
Thank you for saying that.
You're not clumsy.
I'm not sure about that.
Word of the day. MO, modus operandi. Mode of
Operandi, I
operating
believe, but
or working. Thanks, Pete.
You're welcome.
That wasn't from me, that was from her. There you go.
All
All right. Nice. Yeah, modus operandi. What does that mean again?
Operanda.
Is that something to do with Gandhi?
It's the reason for doing so, or the mode of which you operate.
I knew that.
All right, moving on.
All right, Wilson.
Okay. Friday, July 27th. Made a deal with Luca yesterday that I go buy ice cream and he makes espresso so we can enjoy affogato.
Affogato.
Is
Ah.
it an Italian word?
It is the Italian dessert. Yes, it's like drowning.
The
Drowning.
Italian dessert.
Drowning.
Yeah,
In ice cream.
drowning in ice coffee.
Ah.
It's got ice cream, and then you pour the espresso on top.
It's great.
It is delicious.
It is
You got
good.
the bitter and the sweet and the cold.
Yeah.
Nice name too.
Yeah.
Had to wait till after lunch. Luca scooped ice cream in our mugs and pour hot, freshly made espresso on top.
Nice.
You make it sound really good.
Yeah, I tried.
Oh my god, it was so good. I couldn't help getting another cup. Nice break.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. That's awesome.
I'm-
So wait, Luca has a way to make espresso at work,
He has a mocha
Yes.
pot.
and that
Yeah.
bastard never shared any with me.
I gave him espresso.
Luca, I'm
This is
coming for you,
real.
man.
you have your own like coffee.
But not a mocha pot. I have coffee every day, but not espresso, man. The only person that's ever shared espresso with me at work is Ricardo. See, the Italians, they know the coffee.
They do.
They do. I like
They
that.
do.
That's good.
I like.
All right, speaking of Italians, Alex,
Well,
what's the
actually,
next?
He's not
Well-
Italian, but
speaking of Italians, it's not me, but Wilson Me just quietly decided to split Maki's memoirs because they're turning into a novel. So
Okay.
This was just the beginning of the day.
Oh,
It's continuing.
All right.
okay.
So Patrick came down in the afternoon.
Who is Patrick?
Yeah, who is Patrick? Seriously.
Patrick Swayze, you never heard of him?
Yeah, but he's no
Read 'em,
longer
read
with
'em.
us.
Okay, I guess. See, his name is not really Patrick.
Ah,
Oh wow.
all right.
But I call him Patrick. He didn't tell me his name when we first met, so I had to give him a name. Pete and Matt know who he is. He is the Italian guy who I recently figured out to be an artist.
Oh, Ricardo.
I like how Maki does the same thing I do, where it's I don't know their names, so I'm just gonna give them one. I called Graham Kenny for a long time. He looks like a Kenny. I don't know what to say.
he looks like Patrick. So.
Okay.
I like that.
I don't see him as Patrick because
Patrick Minervino.
Okay.
He calls me Barbie.
Barbie. Sure. You don't look like a Barbie.
Ricardo
Oh, you
calls
are
her
blonde.
Barbie. What? Yeah, totally.
Blonde and tall, and wear pink lot. All right.
Yeah.
I protested because I'm not that kind of person.
What do you mean that kind of? What are you saying about Barbie?
Barbie, like
Barbie's like
Barbie.
super smart and like progressive. these
Barbie's the
days.
most famous doll in the
Yeah,
world.
aren't you watching her vlogs? Come on, get on that.
Barbie vlogs are good.
I did the when I heard the name Barbie, what I pictured in my head is the Barbie doll, like the blonde.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm pretty
She
sure that's
does.
what it
You should
means.
check her out now. Check her out. I'm serious. She's turning a new leaf.
She's also got a lot of occupations.
She does.
She
She's
does.
probably one of the hardest working women in the world.
It's true, man.
She's even a game designer.
Watch
actually.
Barbie's Funhouse on Netflix.
I have
Barbie's
watched
Dreamhouse.
Dreamhouse. Yeah.
All right, sorry, Alex. Sorry.
Yeah, I read ahead. It's actually pretty good. So please listen. So anyway, I'm gonna read the last sentence. He is the Italian guy who I recently figured out to be an artist. Had no idea what he does until just a few days ago. He seems to come down to our floor on Fridays to chat with people. Today, he was telling you and me that he uses his tablet to cut bread on. And now it has so many scratches, he cannot draw straight lines on it.
What?
That's why he's.
So
I
the
believe
actual
this.
Wacom
No, I-
tablet?
As
I get
artists,
it, but
how
why
do you
would
guys
you
feel
do
about
that?
this? As artists,
Oh man.
you okay with that?
I don't scratch my tablet
Yeah.
balls.
Well, you respect your things.
Yeah, it's like
Well, it's true to Ricardo's character. It's,
That is
so-
true.
That's true.
That is true.
He also complained now his keyboard is covered with Doritos powder and stuff. This is great. He mentioned he listened to the latest podcast and my memoir. He said he doesn't mind if I write about his conversation. He even summarized it into 3 bullet points. Oh, this is
That was
great.
nice of Patrick.
Number 1, his keyboard is covered with food. Number 2, his tablet has so many scratches that he can barely work on it. Number 3, he is too old to reach out his arm to grab his cutting board from the drawer sitting right next to his chair.
Wait. So he uses the tablet even though the cutting board is right there.
Yeah, but he can't reach it anymore because he's too old.
That's so
Okay.
Patrick.
Okay.
So the conclusion by Maki is, sounds like he has a tough life.
Yeah. It is pretty rough.
Fair enough.
It's rough being Italian.
All right, one more.
One more?
Okay.
All right, Petey.
We'll clean it off. Monday, July 30th.
All right.
Caffeine is wearing off and energy level is dropping. Need to go outside to get fresh air.
I know that feeling.
Went for a walk. Saw Darth Vader on a bicycle coming towards me. Wait, I can only guess what this is. So in Japan...
It was the caffeine that was wearing off.
No. So in Japan, older women tend to wear these sun visors that are black, that'll cover their whole face. And then they also wear these black gloves that go all the way up their arms. So they do kind of look reminiscent to Darth
that's
Vader.
it.
That's what you're talking about, right?
Man, look at you,
saw that
man.
So there's no cape, man.
Yeah.
That was okay, but yeah, otherwise, yeah.
So, or at least what I thought was Darth Vader.
Oh.
On a second look, it was an older lady on a bicycle, all armed in black,
we
from
ruined
head to
it.
toe, to
We
block
ruined
the sun, with a huge black sun visor, which was covering most of her face, and arm guards and all. What a view! I think her sun visor was the thing that gave her the Vader look,
Fair enough. That's true.
and that ends it. Darth Vader.
That's good. I like that.
I like that. That's good. Good send off.
Maki? What was your favorite memoir from this week?
My favorite. I don't know. My favorite.
Okay, thank you.
I
That was
can't
my
think
favorite
of-
too.
Well, you
Is it-
you
There were a lot of
can, you
good
can
ones.
have the audience choose.
There were a lot of good ones.
That's
that's a good idea.
Good. Look,
See?
this is,
So-
we need more people with
I know,
ideas.
man.
Kids,
You guys are
guys,
like, it's like you guys are
ladies and
creatives
gentlemen.
or something.
Let me
That's
summarize. The Curse of Taniguchi.
Yeah.
Mad Mike.
Yeah.
Darth Vader on a bicycle.
Luca.
Luca
dog.
Luca
Luca
dog.
dog.
Yeah, Luca dog.
And we have my
Patrick?
personal favorite.
Patrick.
See? No, Patrick was on
That's
Oh, no,
that's also
Patrick, that's
part
his
of the-
code name.
yeah.
Patrick using a Wacom tablet as his cutting board.
Yep. Yep.
I
So
think I
Vader,
left out
Vader,
the
Vader.
first one.
we're gonna leave the. You know what? They can go back and re-listen to
you
it.
guys figure
So we're gonna leave it up there. Give us your feedback. What was your favorite Maki's memoir? Do you want us to even continue this segment? But before that, just vote. Get the vote out.
How are they going to vote?
Go to Twitter. Tell us what you like.
All right.
Yeah, Twitter, man.
Fair enough.
Twitter. What's our Twitter, Matt?
Our Twitter is dev1_official.
Nice.
It's not underbar. You just want me to say.
I
It's
just-
not
yeah, I
underbar.
just wanted
It's
that.
underscore. Damn it.
Yeah, there you go. Just wanted to do that. That's all. All right. Well, hey, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And so I guess we'll have to take it out.
All right. Well, we already said the Dev1 Twitter handle. So what's left, Pete?
Well, we could say our Twitter account names, except before we say that, I just want to remind everyone that it is extremely hot in here, and we take a few hours to do this.
It's pretty hot in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm in a tank top here.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm saying this because I want sympathy or what, but yeah, it's pretty hot in here. I'm crying.
I'm pretty sure it's because you're pained by having to see me in a tank top, as most people would be.
Maybe. But I'm
Yeah.
used to that by now.
That's true. It's true.
Anyway.
I've gotten used to that. All right. Well, yeah.
What's your
So
Twitter account?
on Twitter, I am Gypsy Otoko. GYPSYOTOKO. Do either of you guys do the social media or anything? Wilson?
No, I don't.
It's okay. It's okay, man. It's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Good. Yeah. You
Okay,
guys-
and then
you guys
I am
are
at
more
P
productive.
Fabiano, P, and then my last name, F,
You know.
A, B. No, there's an A in there.
Oh, yeah.
I-A-N-O, P Fabiano.
When people mess up your name, they'll say
They
Fabino,
do.
right?
Or sometimes they add an R. I don't know where that comes from. either.
Fabirno?
Fabrino. Or
Fabrino.
Fabriano.
Ooh,
That
Fabriano.
gets thrown in there. Where does
Fair
that
enough.
come from?
Fair enough.
Fabriano. Yeah, I don't know where that
know.
comes from. It's like fabric or
Sounds
something.
French.
Ooh, could be.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's like it's a fabric softener. All right, you know it's getting late when we're starting getting loopy and we're rambling like this. So, I guess we'll call it a night. I hope everybody or day, depending on when you're listening, everybody enjoyed hearing about Capcom's best game, if not the best game in the world, Devil May Cry 5,
Obviously.
and our wonderful artists, two of our wonderful artists who worked on it. Right, P?
Right.
Good.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.